This video right here shows Ali and Ana Abulaban dancing in two different rooms. The caption: when your relationship is drama-free. But remember what they say, things are not always what they seem. This applies especially to social media, because only a few months later, the TikTok star killed his wife for talking to another man. Ali Abulaban, known on TikTok as JinnKid, has more than 900,000 followers on TikTok. He mainly posts short comedy skits where he imitates Tony Montana or characters from Skyrim. Sometimes you can also see his 29-year-old wife, Ana Abulaban, in the videos. Though wife is probably no longer the correct term to be used here. Sure, the pair were still married on paper, however, based on statements given by their close friends, they no longer lived together under the same roof. Ana Abulaban had moved on from their relationship, quite some time ago to be exact. As a reason, she cited domestic violence and the fact that Ali Abulaban had been cheating on her with multiple women. The first fact has more or less been confirmed through witness statements, because apparently, Ana had knocked on the door of the neighbor from across the way and had asked them to call the police. Ana supposedly said that Ali had beat her up. The incident happened 1 month before the murder took place. At the time, she wasn't able to call the police herself, because Ali had taken her phone from her and refused to give it back. Probably because he was scared that she was doing exactly what she had asked the neighbors to do, namely call the police. In fact, afterwards it came to light that the police were called to their house several times. There were a total of 9 calls on record, but how often they were actually physically there is not clear. But Ali Nasser Abulaban was clearly known to the police because of it. Nevertheless, he was never arrested. No one knows why. Maybe because Ana backed out, or because the cops didn't even come out in the first place. And my first statement is not victim blaming. Domestic violence is a complex topic, and all I was trying to say was that I think it would be understandable if she did in fact take back what she said, because the fear she must have had to be exposed to even worse abuse is something we can only speculate on. The two had a daughter together. She was 5 years old at the time, which made the situation even more complicated. Maybe Ana was scared that Ali would do something to her. One of Ana's girlfriends even mentioned that Ana was telling the police at one point that she was planning on getting a restraining order against Ali. However, this request was never officially filed with police. Probably because at some point, once she had managed to break ties with this man, she was no longer forced to live with Ali. He moved out and checked into a hotel, where he lived from there on out. But what Ana didn't know was that Ali Abulaban made a copy of the key in secret. On October 21st, 2021, Ana left her apartment and Ali went inside and trashed it. But that's not all. He also installed an app on their mutual daughter's iPad that allowed him to listen in on their real-time conversations, so he more or less bugged them. Then he went back home and listened to what Ana was saying. At some point he heard Ana and a man laugh. That apparently was the trigger that he chose to allow his jealousy and rage to get the best of him. He immediately packed up a loaded gun, hopped into his car and drove over to her apartment. With the key that he had secretly made a copy of, he entered the apartment and saw his wife sitting on the couch with another man. The man had put his arm around Ana. I guess that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Ali fired 4 rounds. 3 of them hit the man in the forehead, cheek and neck. The 4th one was aimed at Ana. Both were dead on the spot. At 3:10 p.m. he himself called the cops, but not to confess. Instead he claimed that he had walked into the 2 dead bodies in the living room. The police told him to stay, but his response was that he needed to go. And that's what he did. He left the apartment and went to his daughter's school to pick her up. When the cops entered the apartment a short time later, they found the bodies of Ana Abulaban and the 29-year-old Raven Baron. Investigators soon figured that Ali Abulaban had to be responsible for the murder, which is why they immediately tried to track him down. He was located the same day. With him was his daughter. It didn't take long until investigators found evidence that supported their theory and was very incriminating for Ali. He apparently didn't just tell their daughter that he had hurt her mother, but he had also told his very own mother, whom he had called on the phone to confess his deeds. During his initial interview at the police station, he did the same thing. So he basically confessed to police that he was responsible for the double murder, but he later redacted the statement. He later claimed that the pair was already dead when he entered the house, and that's the version that he ended up staying with. But the proof was right there, which is why Ana Abulaban was eventually charged with the murder of Ana Abulaban and Rabin Baron. The first hearing started in January 2022, but they are still ongoing. Ana Abulaban pleaded not guilty.
Don't inject your own to the story.
We're gonna take a break. Let's
you think I wanted this? Or I found your daughter? I wanted this? Who the are you?
Mr. Abulaban, Mr. Abulaban, I need you to stop.
My life is destroyed.
Mr. Abulaban, I need you to stop.
I created this.
Mr. Abulaban, I need you to stop.
The reason for this are the special circumstances of the crime. There's no further explanation regarding what is meant by this statement. But that likely won't make a difference anyway, because the chances that he will be sentenced are so high that you can almost be sure of it. And if that happens, it is technically possible that he will get the death penalty. But even if that occurs, the state of New York doesn't conduct executions anymore. So that means that they can still sentence him to it, but that's about all they will do. Either way, it appears that the trial is getting on Ana Abulaban's nerves though. He said on the stand that his life is ruined. I don't think he could be any more narcissistic. The judge already granted a protective order which states that Ali is not allowed to contact his daughter. She is living with family members now, far away from Ali. And that brings us to the end of today's video. What are your thoughts about this case? Why don't you leave me a comment? In case I forgot anything, please let me know as well. If you enjoyed the video, then feel free to leave a like, a comment or subscribe to my channel. Thank you in advance. Good night and see you soon.